What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence says he understands why Manny Pacquiao didn't want to fight him next. For Errol Spence had this today. He said that Pacquiao's a guy that's not scared, but for him at his age, at his career, he's trying to make the most money and take the easier route. He said if Pacquiao wins, Pacquiao is the biggest fight out there, period, Spence said. I just got to see what's on the table. The guy is a Hall of Famer and an all-time great. I definitely want that fight. It's going to happen for sure if Spence and Pacquiao win. Now, Spence, he might be on the money with something. I think that Freddie Roach wanted that fight. He vouched for that fight, and he relayed that message to Manny Pacquiao due to how Keith Thurman looked in his last fight. For Errol Spence, I think Errol Spence is that guy where, for the most part, was where Keith Thurman was a few years ago. I think he was that guy that he gets avoided on some platforms with some people. And I'm actually going to do a video about that, debunking the boogeyman, because a lot of people ask me about that. So I'm going to do that another video. So stay tuned for that. But for Spence and Pacquiao wanted that fight with Keith Thurman because he felt that he could beat Keith Thurman. Likewise for Keith Thurman, though. Keith Thurman wanted that fight with Pacquiao because he thought this is the perfect time to fight him. Now, knowing what we know, Keith Thurman, I think, would have been a better fighter a couple years ago, honestly. But then so would Manny Pacquiao. So that probably would have been, the fight was great. I don't want to take anything away from the fight, but for Keith Thurman, I think Keith Thurman was that fighter that he wasn't as hungry. I think he was trying to do this Mayweather type matchmaking, like a lot of fighters are doing. It's not just Keith Thurman. So I don't want to just, fuck with Keith Thurman because actually, Keith Thurman, I've gained a lot of respect for him from last night. Okay? He was hurt. He was dropped. And he came back and rallied like a true champion would. And it was a split decision loss. It wasn't like Pacquiao went in there and just beat the shit out of him. Pacquiao went in there and showed people that he can still do what he can do at 40 years old and still win, right, on this level. But as for Keith showed that he can be hurt, can get dropped, and then come back to damn near win. Okay? So, and then it's how he handled that loss. He wasn't bitch, he didn't walk out of the ring like fucking Broner or something, and I got a video to do about Broner later. But he didn't do any of those disappointing ass exit stage left kind of situations. And he showed that, hey, he not only was a true champion, he conducted himself like a true champion, especially when a fighter loses. So he showed a lot of prestige in there. He still, he wasn't choked up or whatnot. He still was charismatic. He still had that mouthpiece. He still had that energy about him that still marketed himself. So, I had to say that about Keith Thurman for a minute. But back to Errol Spence. Errol Spence, I feel that it's easier for him to say that also, if you look on the other side, because he wasn't in there that night. And again, I feel Pacquiao was fighting Father Time also, on top of fighting Keith Thurman. So he was fighting two obstacles, two opponents. One is his age, because you can see he was slowing down. And two, Keith Thurman, which was also hitting him in the face, which he said he couldn't wait to do. So for Errol Spence, even if he got a fight with Errol Spence, which I honestly wouldn't want to see that fight. honestly, because at this point, Manny Pacquiao showed, yes, he can still fight, but he also showed last night that he can get tired, and going against someone hungry like Errol Spence, you know, and let's stop bullshitting each other. Keith Thurman wouldn't have took that fight if he didn't think he would win, if he didn't think he was old. Errol Spence thinks the same way. Errol Spence thinks, well, you know what? I wanted that fight just for the same reasons Keith Thurman wanted that fight. So we can't say and sit here and, oh, well, I can see why you didn't fight me. Well, I mean, he wanted to make all the most money possible. That makes sense. You know, I understand that. I would have done the same thing. I would have fought Keith Thurman too if the money was better. You know, I mean, they're both undefeated. They're both champions. I'm going to pick the one with the most money. I'm older than you motherfuckers. I've been fighting these guys 10 years ago, right? I was doing the same thing for the last 10 years. So this time in 2009, Manny Pacquiao was beating Miguel Cotto. And Miguel Cotto was the guy that was like Keith Thurman at the time. Okay? You know, he had one loss, sure, to Margachito, because of, you know, everybody knows what Margachito did. He should change his name to that shit. But anyhow, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, these guys, they want to make a name off the strength of Manny Pacquiao, which everyone wants that torch. Manny Pacquiao, I think he should, if he keeps fighting, I think at this point, he shouldn't fight Errol Spence, because there's one thing of proving yourself worthy. He's already done that. But I seen Manny Pacquiao taking punches that he normally wouldn't have took in the past. You know, because he's that guy ditching out that work rate, which he did. Those rapid fire punches were impressive. But fighting someone like Spence at this point, I think Spence would probably retire him, because he's just younger, fresher, and hungrier. Keith Thurman, I feel, lost that hunger he had before the surgery, before the marriage and all that. He's going to have children soon, I'm pretty sure now. But, you know, that hunger's gone. It ain't gone for Errol Spence. So I can kind of get why Errol Spence said that, you know, but a side note, they were both looking for the easier opponent because they know that is the most vulnerable. And they also know that's the most money also. So you can't get mad at Manny Pacquiao for wanting the most money if you knew that fighting Pacquiao is the most money. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you know, Errol Spence, I think these guys should make their legacy off fighting each other. He should fight Danny Garcia. He should fight Terrence Crawford. He should fight those guys. Okay? Not, oh, I want to fight Pacquiao. You know, Pacquiao, y'all need to understand, he's an all-time great. He's doing things that Julio Cesar Chavez couldn't do at an older age. Chavez wasn't doing this shit at 40. Chavez was getting stopped by fucking Costa Zoo at that age. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but look, a man could only take so much. He really can. And Manny Pacquiao, for everyone just, oh, I want a shot at Pacquiao. Fuck, call out Mayweather. You know what I mean? Mayweather's the motherfucker that didn't really like to take risk. Manny Pacquiao has proven that he can, and he's done that time and time again. But come on, you know what I mean? Enough is enough, right? Leave the poor man alone. Let him rest. Let him run his country, or help run his country. But anyway, that's my take about Errol Spence Jr. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.